Fireworks. This Independence Day, we'll take a moment to remember our first veterans, those who fought for freedom in places like Cowpens and Kings Mountain, and in another Cherokee County site that had been forgotten by history until now, the Patriot militia who stood together at Fort Thicketty. It's like an old barn, one the farmers forgot. A wooden building, rotting, remote, and run down. Not far from some of the most celebrated battles of the Revolutionary War, this is what's left of Fort Thicketty, slowly being restored to what would have been an impressive colonial fortification as early as the 1750s.
It was built as a place where people could go for refuge if there were Native American attacks, or as a stopping point along a trail.
Joe Johnson and the Cherokee Historical and Preservation Society bought this old fort in 2014 and have started the slow work of rebuilding it with original lumber, while they and other upstate historians rediscover the history of the site itself, an important Patriot victory, one without a single shot fired. Inside the fort, in late July 1780, nearly 100 British loyalists under the command of Captain Patrick Moore were surrounded by 600 Patriots and Colonel Isaac Shelby.
That night, they sent out a message to Captain Moore and asked him if he wanted to surrender. And the story goes that he said he would never surrender.
Rather than risk a dangerous assault, Colonel Shelby understood the power of his united American militia. They took the fort just by standing together.
Shelby told his men to step out of the forest and show their strength.
The sight of 600 Patriots was enough to force a British surrender.
The main reason that there's not a lot of history about it, again, was because there was no battle there.
But what happened here would affect the course of the war.
Word got back to Lord Cornwallis up in Charlotte that the fort was taken. He was none too happy. So he had Patrick Ferguson, come down with a large force. And ultimately, Ferguson wound up at Kings Mountain, and that was a major British loss.
Obviously, you know, we're very proud of Cowpens and Kings Mountain, and those are big historical events, but those have been known for years and years and years. This is almost like a new rediscovery of history that can be very exciting.
A pivotal moment in American history, slowly revived from the rust. It's cool, right? Coming up later this month on Saturday the 27th, they'll have a celebration of the liberation of Fort Thicketty right at the site of the old fort itself. All the information you need is over at WSPA.com.